Hey, everybody, all you cats and kittens out there. Start over again.
I can't.
Okay, I'm going to start right now.
I don't know how.
I'm going to start right now. What episode are we? I should ask. 14.
14?
Welcome to Hell to Play, episode 14. We got returning fucking beast, Zach, at KGB LLC coming back. I have been looking forward to this episode for a week and a half because normally we only schedule our episodes 12 hours in advance. We actually scheduled this one, and I couldn't be more excited to have him back on the pod. Thanks for joining us. We got a lot of stuff to go through. First things first, we had started this thing out as a sports pod, so we're going to talk a couple of minutes about the draft goings-ons from last night, especially any Green Bay Packers fans would know that there's a couple of things to be said about what's going on. Last night, the Packers made a surprise move. They traded up and drafted a quarterback out of Utah State, Jordan Love, guy who threw 20 touchdowns, 17 picks. Pretty surprising considering, Aaron Rodgers is 2 years into a 5-year big money contract.
But as we all know, Aaron Rodgers doesn't give a fuck anymore, so just had to get that in there.
He doesn't. I mean, it shows by the way he dresses. Actually, it shows by the way he dresses, but
Aaron Rodgers' body language. Dude, Aaron Rodgers' body language is proving him to be more and more of a Jay Cutler type person, if you ask me.
Dude, I think that's a great Jay. Is he?
Yeah,
is he
smoking Jay for sure.
Is he a talented smoking Jay?
He's a talented smoking Jay, but this is what makes him not as cool. He ain't smoking. He ain't smoking A-Rod yet.
I'd have to say, if we really built the prototype like what Aaron Rodgers is right now, it's smoking Jay mixed with a little bit of sulky Eli Manning.
Yeah,
but who just hucks and chucks.
Well, he's definitely not beer chugging Aaron Rodgers because he's horrible at that. So,
dude, I would have shaved a couple mil off his contract for that chug. Like that was tough. Like, sometimes I dog athletes for like not putting themselves in positions to fail. Like a lot of guys will like LeBron not going in the dunk contest, and I think they do it because they don't want to be upstaged. They just don't want to lose. But Aaron Rodgers in a beer chugging contest with David Bakhtiari should have backed out of that big time.
Yeah, dude, just don't even, just give respect and back away.
Right.
That would be a classier move, probably the smart move. He was probably thinking like, if this was rum chata, I'd bury your ass.
Oh no, he was like, oh, this isn't a Languinista's IPA. I don't know how to drink this. I'm from California. I'm more of a Sierra Nevada guy.
Dude, if you're chugging Lagunitas though, that's like a fucking taking a full edible, like, I don't know, 20 milligrams. So
what he should have done was because he had to have known his own chuggability, his skills. He should have just went full hardo and just dumped it on his face.
Oh yeah, that would have been, dude. Or dumped it on like the dude next to him.
Oh yeah,
like the rando, not who he was with, just like, because that guy would have been like,
yeah, right.
Any other team that might have been sufficient, like if he was playing for a California team or some, but Wisconsin,
right.
Yeah, dude. It's like, look around, man. There's not a single person in here that's trying to drive home sober tonight.
And then the problem is, then he opened himself up because then you had, after that, Baker Mayfield slammed like a 36-pack like right off the gate. And there was a lot of people just upstaging him, making him look bad. And I thought, yeah, he lost a few points on that one. I was very proud of David Bakhtiari, though. Which, is that part of the reason why they drafted Jordan Love, who looks like he couldn't chug a Bloody Mary chaser? Or like that guy doesn't look like he's had a taste of beer in his life.
That's a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts on this. I think this Zoom meeting draft was going too quietly because it was a lot of line. The trenches went hard in the first round. And I think they always should because those are fucking super important. You got, offensive linemen, defensive linemen. They all went really early. And it was just every draft pick. It was a very deep, talented draft first round. Mm-hmm. And every pick was like, that's good pick, good pick, good pick. You really couldn't go wrong. I mean, the Vegas Raiders made sure that they kind of threw in their own 2 cents by picking the wrong wide receiver with Henry Ruggs. But it was going too smooth. And the weird thing is that when the draft pick came up, and I forget the team that they traded with. I think it was Baltimore or some shit. When the pick came up, the pick was in, and it was already out that they had drafted Swift, the running back from Georgia, and then all of a sudden, it changed, and the draft pick was traded, and I've never ever seen that in my life, and I think the NFL panicked, and they saw that there wasn't anything going on, and they kind of made the Packers fall on their sword and made them trade up and draft Jordan Love, so that the 24-hour news cycle that is sports that's been dead for so long, they now rejuvenated, and they bought themselves an entire day of talk with the Packers shit draft pick. And I think, granted, the Packers will need a quarterback at some point, but this was early. They didn't need to trade up. They could have gotten him traded up in the second round, maybe given up a 6th-round pick instead of a 4th-round pick. And I think this was a ratings grab, possibly. That's my tinfoil hat on that one.
Yeah, I know they set a record for viewership on the NFL draft all time, so that would just draw in more people.
Nobody has anything else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the long and short of it.
Yeah. Dude, even Grace was into it last night. Like, Jaxon put it on, and
It's like, we watched Tiger King 4 times already. What else is that?
I watched Tiger King to
beat
fall
off
asleep
the Tiger
after
King
work.
4 times.
I watched Tiger King to fall asleep after work now instead of The Office. I just watched Tiger King.
The sweet, sweet sounds of Joe Exotic country music.
Dude, when he comes in and the what does it say? Like the man saw a tiger and the tiger saw a man. Like, that shit is pure
I got
magic.
hard when I heard that.
Yeah, that shit is pure magic.
Deep. Shit's deep.
So I mean that's a little bit of NFL draft talk. I don't know. It's like, you guys got any other thoughts on the draft?
I don't know. I mean, I got on the way over here. I mean, can we just go back? I mean, you can't talk about enough about the whole Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, like, symbiotic relationship now, or Jerry Jones with it. Not even symbiotic, but it's just cracking up, man. I don't know shit about sports anymore. I don't know anything about football, but man, when they showed the side-by-side of Jerry Jones in his, like, baller video room, by the way, like, he wasn't even trying to pretend he was in the basement.
He was in a $250 million super yacht. Confirmed.
Wow.
That's where he was drafting from.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I'm changing my tune on Jerry Jones, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was in a very famous football-themed band, Nose Tackle. Shouts out to Shane Merrill and the Once for All Boys. We had a song called Fuck Jerry Jones. Maybe we'll throw that in at the end of this episode. But I think for all the reasons that we hated Jerry Jones are all the reasons that I absolutely love this guy.
Yeah.
Like, they're like toys. This is like a chess game to him. He doesn't give a shit. Like, the guy is calling all the shots,
That was a hard flex drafting from a super yacht.
Yeah, and also
During
like
this whole thing.
He's the one that makes the calls. What did you say? You said
he told all of his scouts, his GM, everybody. He told them not to call him. He's got this.
I got this.
Like,
so what was Mike McCarthy doing there? Just smiling, like,
yeah,
I'm the new coach.
Mike McCarthy was trying to fit into a size small suit and trying to figure out how to eat the donut that was on the fucking advertisement on his computer.
He looked like he was just gonna burst out of that thing. I think that it was like painted on.
Yeah, his was brutal. Like, even dude, McAfee on his show during the draft made note of, like, Jerry Jones' Wi-Fi was even like crystal clear, and there were certain guys like GMs and shit that were at their house and it was like grainy. Jerry Jones is coming in off of God knows what coast,
4K, like, Ultra HD,
like, coming in
clear.
Hologram,
dude. Yeah.
Standing next to Goodell,
dude. Another
and also holograms of like Jimi Hendrix and Tupac Shakur just like serving him drinks.
Dude, another move by Jones is that he had some lady that was there. So he had 2 people next to him. I think one of them was his son, and then some
wife?
lady. No, Here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. So this was kind of a piece for his age. She was looking good, but it was definitely not his wife. And she was in the thing, and she was like patting him on the back when he made his fucking easy CD Lamb. I'll take CD Lamb at 18 pick, but it was like, dude, you do know this is going out to the world, and you probably shouldn't have put your side piece on the video, So Jones was just kind of, I don't know, he was.
And get the lady some screen time, yeah.
Do you think that guy really cares?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. No.
Speaking of the hologram, the only thing that would have been more baller is if Jerry Jones would have been there and he would have had a hologram of Roger Goodell just.
Oh yeah!
For those of you who aren't watching on live stream that we don't have, Zach pointed to his crotch.
Yeah. Oh my God, he did. Yeah.
Goodell's like, okay.
Oh, and then there was another Mike Vrabel's live stream was turned up. They had one of his kids was wearing a onesie, and then in the background there was somebody, and the door opened in the bathroom. I don't think it was real, but he was definitely taking a shit. Like pants around the ankles. And, there's no way that wasn't staged, but it was a pretty baller.
Why weren't more people seizing the opportunity to just do some hilarious shit in the background? You know,
yeah.
Someone should have been doing the Chappelle Show, robot guy, just through the back, just ruining
yeah.
Get out of here.
Well, let's not forget about one of the things we talked about, which is the best, was everybody trying to hide their 50-person parties that were going on. Every time they would cut the family, it'd be like, get the fuck out, get the fuck out.
Right. Immediate family only. Come on, we're running some propaganda here.
You could just see guys getting pushed off screen, get out. And there was one, I forget what player it was, but they were literally they had their living room setup going on, and then there was some clear doors and another party room there, and so the pick was already in. They got picked, but then they flashed back to them, and everybody had already assumed that they weren't going to be back on, and they're in the party room, and they just fucking scattered like cockroaches.
Are you serious?
That's serious. I can't remember who it was.
Oh,
dude,
man.
but everybody fucking bailed, and it was you would have been better off just freezing.
That is awesome.
So I think I actually think that was I hate the whole situation that we're in and what's going on, and I completely disagree with it, but that was entertainment value right there. That was that was hilarious.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, these, except for dude, I don't know shit. Who's a dude that went number one?
Burrow.
Just sitting with his parents. That dude did look like he was just sitting with his parents, and that was it. And he looked just bummed out. Is that just the look on his face all the time?
Yeah, he's kind of got that.
Just doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah, he's
in a cool way though.
It's kind of funny because he's got moxie, but he knows when to flex it. That dude's built to be a number one team leading QB because he flexes nuts on the field, but then he knows when to. First person he thanked in his Heisman speech was his O-line, and that dude knows what's up. I think the Bengals got a good pick. He's gonna be legit, man. So good on him. But yeah, it was funny seeing. And then we had Henry Ruggs fucking threw on the Old Spice robe when he got drafted.
Yeah.
Dude, it was funny seeing him. He threw on a bathrobe, and he's got he's wearing 2 watches also. So he's got a bathrobe on, 2 watches, and then they cut immediately to John Gruden, and you could just all I could think of was fuck this guy.
Oh yeah, a bathrobe.
Oh, we got a clown? You want to be a clown? Huh?
He's cut.
Dude, there's
the
two
first
kinds
player
of,
ever to get cut before the first round. Cut.
2 kinds of football players, Burrow and Ruggs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun to see that a little bit, but
horrible pandemic. I mean, you'd never want to see it happen again. But man, if we could turn back time, wouldn't you like to see the Johnny Manziel house party that probably would have been going down via satellite?
You know what they should think about? Maybe
people would have been snorting coke off the Zoom screen.
He would have.
Oh, whoops! Let me get that there.
Flash of the Manziel party is just railroad tracks going across the.
It's an iPad. It's an iPad laid down and just fucking.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Pick is in.
They're playing a game for whatever pick Manziel went. That's how many rails you had to do. Fucking 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe for next year, maybe we try this one more time, but we let them just throw the fucking most turned up parties of all time, and we zoom into them.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, instead of cocaine, maybe we should just be doing Ajax like in Cheech and Chong. I mean,
There you go.
that's what Trump suggested, right, guys?
Yeah.
Right. Oh god.
Snort some lines of whatever.
That's a great transition. What was that meme you sent where everybody they misinterpret Trump saying
Oh my God, they just
inject
hate-
antibiotics or whatever he said.
You give them an inch and they just.
But they're okay with it. But then they're okay with injecting aluminum and shit in their bodies.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing, the thing that pisses me off about how they misinterpreted what Trump said is all the people that run with it. Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
they
He
do
said
that with
inject
everything.
Yeah, he said inject Clorox bleach. That's what he said. The president. No, that's not what he said.
He did not, and I don't think I read what he said, and I don't think it was it didn't come out right. But dude, that's not what he fucking said. It's just not what he said.
Well, what he was referring to is, I guess there's a couple treatments. I was actually just listening to this. There's a couple. I guess you can.
Okay, let's go to KGB LLC Trump apologist now.
No.
Oh my God, no, you're a racist. You know, that's the thing. Go ahead.
Zach, put the swastika down.
I'm sorry. Don't make me lose my job. No, but he was not apologizing for him because a lot of the shit that he says is stupid as fuck.
Dude, I'm totally kidding, but that's
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
you can't say anything
Yeah.
in defense, but dude, all this shit, man, everything he's ever it's always taken out of context, but that's the thing is that's the only thing about this dude, and I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off, but it's just. Isn't that what you can appreciate about the guy? Is somehow he's still lets all this shit
An
roll
optimist?
off his back and it just
Well, it's what you see. He gets hammered from every angle, but at the same time, I want to ask these people, what do you want? Do you want a president that gets up there going, "We're all gonna fucking die"?
Yeah, right.
We're all gonna,
I think that's what
That's what
they want. People want right now.
They want the fear.
I
They want the
guess.
fear mongers.
Yeah, but you want a president that's like, yeah, we're gonna get through this. We're checking out this treatment. We're checking out this option.
Yeah, he's fucked both ways because they've already done it. They've already flip flopped.
Yeah.
At everything.
Well, they
like you
changed
said,
the
he gets
stats.
hammered at every angle. Because you're right. What is the right thing to say? Because I don't even understand what we're supposed to be. I guess I'm kind of thinking shouldn't we all be saying no, fuck this, fuck the government, what's going on? This really doesn't all add up.
Well, he goes
Why-
into he starts those daily briefings. I mean, so he's up at that podium and he's looking at three people on the side that are trying to fucking kneecap him at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that they have doctor in front of their name and he doesn't. So right away he's behind the eight ball. And he's trying to, because just the other day that doctor that I don't know his name, but the one
Dr.
that
Bill
said,
Gates.
Dude, we're gonna hit that in a little bit. No, the guy who said that it was gonna be, he was quoted as saying it was gonna fall, it was gonna come back and fall, and it's gonna be way worse than it is now. And then Trump comes on, and he says, "Listen," he's like, "Yeah, if the flu hits, and we still have the remnants of COVID around, it's gonna be difficult, but it's not gonna be what it is right now." And he actually had to come on. The doctor had to pop up and say, he's like, that's not what I said. So Trump has to basically try and squash the fear mongering from his own people that are in his cabinet. And one of the biggest things is every day the way they count the stats, the way the stats are brought in, the way they count the deaths changes. How can we believe anything coming out of this camp?
You can't.
Yeah,
Dude, it
changes
there's
every
controversy
day.
over all of this. So that's what we should all fuck this red, blue, left, right bullshit. We should all be pissed off right now because they can't get their story straight, right?
Yeah, and let's let's get one thing straight. The CDC is not a fucking federal entity. The CDC is the exact same as the Clinton Foundation. It is a nonprofit private organization. So let's not treat the CDC as if they're some elected officials that have our best interests at heart. They are getting their money from people who want certain things put in place.
The CDC, the WHO, the fucking Federal Reserve, like these are all things that I think we just grow up like thinking like, okay, that's who's in that's their expertise. Like that's who we defer to for what, CDC for the health and the Federal Reserve is the federal government, but like these are all private entities that all have a ulterior motives and ulterior agenda, like
right.
So
you just
like
follow the money, you follow who their main benefactors are,
right?
Or
but,
who their the people giving them the money.
Like not a lot of people. I didn't even know that the CDC.
Oh, I didn't know that till this whole thing popped off. For sure.
Right. So it's just I still don't think a lot of people know that. So you're thinking that anything they say that is
Fact.
yeah, pure fact. That's what I mean. Like that's who you defer to. So like whatever they say goes. But that's not.
So here's a little taste of the CDC. The CDC gets $6 billion a year to do all this stuff. But when this shit started popping off, they claimed they didn't have enough money to do the proper research to figure out where this was going to go. $6 billion per year.
And how many people work for the CDC? And the CDC is in Atlanta, right? Is that the headquarters?
That I'm not sure of. Either Atlanta or Pittsburgh, possibly. Pittsburgh might be a thing. But
well, you look that up real quick.
I heard a good quote or a good saying the other day. Somebody said, "I'll give you $1,000 for any government organization or you name it, government agency that can perform better than a free market equivalent." It's anything and everything the government touches is just a fucking mess. And it's just like you're talking about the CDC, but the WHO, the WHO, when all this shit first started in China, the World Health Organization said, "Oh, it's not transmissible human to human." And then you got Zuckerberg saying, "Oh, if you go out, anything you say that goes against the WHO guidelines, we're going to remove it." It's like they don't even know what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that whole bringing up Zuckerberg and him being the basically the lead propagandist for this whole thing.
Well, yeah, he's obviously the First Amendment czar now. All of a sudden, he gets to determine what free speech can be.
Oh, yeah,
and
right.
then they're claiming they can't have them. Facebook, YouTube, same thing. They can't have people show up, so now they're going more to automated algorithms to block this stuff. So it's just an easy excuse. So you're telling me that people can't fact check or go through different posts and do that shit from home? Mm-hmm. This was just an easy way for them to say, we're not having people do this anymore. Yep. We're just gonna put trigger words into a computer system and we're gonna block it all.
Yeah.
Easy way.
Dude, I saw like anything that included misinformation was just like instantly deleted or hidden or.
Well, like the thing that your wife posted about the obvious same. They use the same picture of like the Florida beach and the New York beach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude.
And that shit gets blocked. It's like, where is that spreading propaganda? Like that is a right there.
Yeah. Why don't they cancel the account to MSNBC or CNN or whoever was pulling
CBS.
CBS
was the one with the.
Why doesn't Facebook cancel their account and say they're the ones who came out with it?
Yeah. Why didn't this shit all like come to a screeching halt when they used that photo from Italy and claimed it was in Pennsylvania? Why didn't this all come to a screeching halt? And why didn't we all just say, "Whoa, what the fuck"?
The video, the
hospital. Yeah.
Right. Well, we talked about that in the last episode. If they've done it once, that's fucked up. But they've been caught doing it
every day,
time and time again.
Every day, exactly.
They posted the picture of the wood coffins in Italy.
The island. Yeah, the island.
I think it was Italy.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of the
But
New York island.
that picture is from a couple years ago where they had it had something to do with refugees and it was refugees trying to come over on, was that the Mediterranean Sea?
Yeah.
South of Italy. The refugees were trying to come over in a boat, and the boat capsized or something.
Okay.
So they didn't know who these people were. They made these wood coffins. Now the media took that as this is what has to be done for all the bodies stacking up because of the coronavirus. And it's like they get away with it time after time after time, and all these dum-dums out there, they watch these news channels and they take it for gospel.
Well,
and
dude,
then,
I'll tell you,
New World religion, yeah.
we're also in. It's all headline readers, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that they did the same thing with that Hart Island in New York. The
Yeah.
Hart Island where they use it to bury unclaimed
Yeah.
bodies.
Yep.
And everybody was like, look, they're digging these mass graves. Turns out this has been going on for 130 years. And there's like, what, hundreds of thousands of bodies buried there or some shit like that. But they grab these photos off of it and say, look, they had to start creating mass graves because this thing's so fucked up.
Just
like,
all a fear campaign.
why do people default to side with the government that's feeding this?
That's
the thing. Like,
shit's
why do you
so
default,
backwards right now,
Why
dude.
do you default to that instead of why do you argue with people like us who are fighting for your rights and our rights? We're raising a voice for you. We're not against you. We're with you. We want our rights. Why are you going against us? Why are you siding with this government that's lied to you since day one? Why is that where you default?
Dude?
Yep.
There's no answer
Yeah.
for this. We got into a discussion last night, like over dinner, just on how like
You guys have the best dinner you gotta invite me over to dinner more often, man. I feel like every time you
Yeah.
say something, like you had a great conversation, it was over dinner. Like, I gotta come over for dinner, man.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about how the right kind of stays right, but the left just keeps on going more extreme
No,
and extreme.
no, there's definitely
and so
definitely the extremes are going both
They, like,
ways.
flipped.
But if
It's
you're
so
middle of the
it's so
road
fucked
right
up.
now, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jackson. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Yeah, no.
Well, what Jackson's saying,
left just keeps on going
yeah,
left, right
well,
stays the
the-
same, so you're going to default to right.
Well, no,
if
what the-
you
what
were
the-
in the center,
Yep.
and left keeps going left, now all of a sudden you're leaning right, even though like you didn't change your fucking point of view. Like if you had a middle of the road stance, like the way things have gone.
Oh, yeah, they're
like,
creating the
now,
divide.
Now if you've stayed in the middle, you tend to be leaning right somehow, even though that's not even fucking
like
true.
we would
dude.
this is like we would probably be like traditional lefts.
But what
Is
actually, would, yeah, you
Yeah,
would.
you're
You
absolutely
would.
right.
But what's actually happening is that what the left is doing is the left is trying to push the right further right. So the left, if you're on a meter right now, the left is on the right.
it's
Yeah.
So there's
full circle.
Yeah, because it's like a circle. Yeah, they're trying to continually push the right further away.
well, here's the thing: is there's graphs. I've seen graphs of this how the both ideologies have shifted. So, like I know you said, Big Sean is a Biden fan.
Oh man.
Which here's the thing: is a lot of these old school Democrats. But here's the thing: a lot of these old school Democrats they're still thinking that they're of the belief that Democrats are how they were back in the Clinton era. Right? So
even before that, like
if you look at the graphs, and it makes sense how everything has shifted, if you look at what the Democrats were saying when Biden was a senator back in those days, Clinton was president, the stuff that they're saying and arguing for are what the conservatives, that's where the conservatives are at now.
yeah.
And the left, so the right has actually moved middle to left.
Do you have
Yeah.
some examples? Yeah.
Well,
do
what
you have
Trump?
some
Well,
examples? of
UBI.
that, by the way?
Well, no,
Like,
Trump's basically closer to UBI than fucking Bernie Sanders could have ever been.
Well,
With
just
what they've done right now, with
just the whole like, okay, so one example would be like accepting gay marriage or fiscal policies, like you said with UBI. Everything's shifted, so the conservatives now are where the Clinton Democrats were 25 years ago.
That's
That's
great. That's
so-
great. Yeah, that's a
And
great
now
point,
the-
dude.
now
which is not long at all. Like
No.
that's not long ago at all.
But now the left has totally shifted to like radicals. And that's what, so people our parents' age who just get their news from the mainstream media, they're not necessarily seeing that, and they're voting for a Democrat thinking that they're voting for a Clinton-era Democrat.
Right.
When they're not. They're just voting for something that panders and...
When a lot of the Democrats now are former Republicans. Elizabeth Warren, former Republican. Hillary Clinton, former...
Right.
I think
Trump ran
the Clintons
for
were originally
Trump, former
Republicans.
Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Clintons were originally Republicans. And it's all a game. They're all just masks
dude.
that they're wearing to
Two
try and
wings
get people
of the
to argue
same
with each
bird,
other.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing is Trump, you bringing that up, Trump would be the perfect example of how that, how everything has shifted.
They successfully pushed him over.
Well, no, because he still has
no.
he still has the same beliefs that he had when he was a Democrat. It's just now the Democrats have moved radical left.
That's what I mean. Or they didn't push him anywhere.
Yeah,
but they shifted the whole paradigm so that
they shift the meter. Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically you got the middle mark. The lefts went so far left that now a Republican can now shift over that middle mark, still look right, but he's actually got left ideology.
And
he's actually doing left stuff.
The reason the left is shifting so far, the reason they're so radicalized is because they're not representatives of the people, they're activists
Yeah.
that are in like the AOC, Cortez.
Yeah, AOC, Ilhan Omar, and fucking Rashida Tlaib.
Yeah.
Yeah, the squad.
The squad, yeah. They're nothing more than activists who were able to get elected because they had Soros money behind them.
Right, exactly. And did you see like when they voted on that stimulus package and they had the vote where they didn't count any votes and nobody voted against it? So they had the vote, but it wasn't on record.
Yeah, they did unanimous consent.
Right.
Which means your vote doesn't get recorded.
Exactly. And then AOC comes in 2 weeks later. So it votes 96-0. And then AOC comes out 2 weeks later and one of her publicists or whatever says, well, she would have been against it. Be like, no, but you weren't. You weren't against it. If you want to be somebody, if you want to walk the walk and back up what you're saying, you would have voted against it, and you would have made your voice loud and proud. And you know what? They actually have the audio recordings of the ayes and the nays. There's no fucking female. There's no, because she's got a pretty distinguishable voice. Yeah, she's got a pretty distinct. Yeah, it's pretty hard to listen to her talk.
Like now.
I'm not saying I got a voice for radio, but like her voice is brutal, and you can definitely hear there aren't any female voices in any of the nays because there's a very small amount of nays, and you can hear it, and they definitely were not in it. And it's that pandering. It's that, oh, I would have, but you didn't. It's the same thing. Like Nancy Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren, they all voted to increase the arms budget for Trump, but Trump's bad. But they increased the spending for Trump. They all voted for it. So they're all going to give you this bullshit spiel. But when it comes down to fucking actually doing what you're talking about, they all fall in line.
Dude, what is happening like behind closed doors? Like, do you think Trump's just throwing back cocktails with these guys? Well, he doesn't drink, but I mean,
I don't.
Is this all just fucking pro wrestling, dude?
It is pro wrestling.
I mean, it totally is, right? And that is not to like just give a whole cop out, but this is all bullshit. I thought we all kind of knew that, and that's what's so frustrating to now see like people fighting with each other and taking such a hard line stance instead of like standing back and looking at the whole thing.
Well, it's no different. It's exactly like pro wrestling. So we're watching Trump's daily fucking thing, these daily updates, which all they do is just mix up shit for people to argue about daily. And we're arguing about all these people voting for the stimulus package, all this stuff, when nobody's talking about the rights that we're getting taken away from us that are never going to come back. Did we get any rights?
They're begging. It's like it's the thank you, sir. May I have another?
Did anything that was taken away from us during the Patriot Act? Any of that extra surveillance, any of that stuff. Did we get any of that back?
No, they just renewed it.
Exactly. They renewed it in the middle of this. Exactly. It wasn't even a month ago.
It was right before this.
No, it was right when it was February, right? It was like the first week of February or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right conveniently right when the shit popped off.
And of course, this has been planned, so they knew exactly what was going on.
So everybody's just arguing about which politician is for who, which they're all on the same fucking team. Meanwhile, they're slipping shit into bills and taking away our rights, and we're just saying, "Yep, that's fine. I'm watching this wrestling match right here. Yeah, take what you want."
Well, there's plenty enough people, I would say 50% of the country, that's saying it's not all right. But you have the big thing with Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg is they took down any page that references a protest against shutting down the economy.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of people out there that they're like, and that's the whole thing that kills me about this is apparently you have to be mutually exclusive. You can't, if you want to reopen the economy, that means you want people to die. According to the Karens on Facebook, as well as our fucking governor.
Right.
Did you see, he actually made that statement. If you're out there protesting to reopen the economy, that means you want people to die.
Dude.
More or less is what he said.
And the problem is they got you by the balls with that statement because they get you to a point where you can't, like, you argue with it, but they just go right to human lives. Well, and you're like, if I was out walking around and you had pneumonia and you died.
That's the whole thing is if it's about human lives, there's how many cases, what is there? I haven't been keeping up. How many cases of Rona is there in?
Well, how they classify
I stopped watching those death tickers.
How they classify the deaths is wrong because you don't even have to die from it directly.
Oh, it was 13,000 because they just lit all those fucking candles for the people in Wisconsin who.
No, I mean positive cases. Is it like 800,000?
Total
positive cases for coronavirus.
Yeah, I was thinking Wisconsin because Wisconsin it was like 13,000 because they just lit a candle on the state capitol for everybody who was diagnosed.
So let's say
that was just fucking horseshit.
Let's say 800,000 cases countrywide.
Yeah.
By the end of this month, we're going to be at 30 million unemployed.
Bingo. That's where it's at.
So when you want to talk about saving lives, you have to factor into the equation ruining the economy, and everybody's looking past it now because they're getting a check. And this is what I wanted to talk about that I was saving for the potty.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
The government, in their fucking infinite wisdom, passes this stimulus bill. Now, part of this stimulus bill is we're going to give money to small businesses. We're going to give forgivable loans. In order to keep that loan forgivable where they don't have to pay it back, they have to keep all their employees on the payroll. Okay? So if you're working at a place where you're making $11 or $12 an hour, that means the business owner is going to get a forgivable loan to keep paying you so that when all this opens back up, you can just go back to work, which technically makes sense, right? We'll go through 2-3 months, then you go back to work, you never lost your job. But then in the same token, the government, being as all-knowing and as smart as they are, they tell the people, if you get laid off, we're going to give you $600 a week. So that's $2,400 plus a $1,200 check. So now you're at $3,600, $500 a kid. So say you get $500, so you're at $4,100. Now, if you're a family of 4, you can multiply that by 2. That's $8,200. When you were making $12 an hour, so people are going, "Fuck yeah, I want to quit, or I want to get laid off." So now you got the employees pitted against the business owner because if the business owner loses those employees, if they quit to make bank, to make stacks of cash, now the business owner is going to have to pay that money back because they lost employees.
Oh, so the government, they're going to take that loan thinking it's forgivable. The shit's going to pop off.
Yeah.
And then now it's not. Now it's coming due.
Yeah, but the government snuck in the back door and told all these people, well, look at all the money you can make if you don't do anything. And of course, human nature, what are you going to do?
take that cash money.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to work. Yeah.
You ain't gonna look at Big Boss Man and be like, "Hey man, I want you to survive." You're like, "I want that money, man."
And then on top of that, the money runs out for the PPP program, for the small loan or the small business loans.
Yeah, that ran out like right away.
Yeah, it ran out in 13 days or some shit
it
like
was
that.
long gone.
So then they got to pass new ones. So now they got to hurry up and pass the one that they just passed. Now you got the Democrats. So this is the third part of the whole situation. You got the Democrats coming in, holding the bill up, saying that in order to pass it to give relief to small businesses, they want to change voting to same-day registration as well as early voting. They want solar and wind credits. They want more diversity on corporate boards.
They don't want the best people.
Yeah, they gave the $35 million for the JFK art. What is it?
Yeah,
JFK art.
That's the thing in New York, right? The Kennedy Center. The Kennedy Center.
So that passed, the $35 million for that, as well as $600 million for the Performing Arts Endowment. Both those organizations turned around and donated millions of that money back to the DNC. After
You
that
gotta be
passed.
fucking kidding me right now, bro.
Jesus.
You just put my blood pressure.
The
up
craziest
to the roof,
one,
man.
the craziest one was they want $5 billion for Iran.
I read the country that they just said bomb on site.
That we were going to go to World War III with 3 months ago.
Right.
And they just said if they see a hint of aggression, fucking.
So the Democrats want $5 billion for Iran before they'll pass a stimulus for small business owners here.
Wow, bro.
And it's like anybody who likes government and wants more government.
Dude. Amen, man. I mean, what the fuck? Like, why doesn't, especially during this time, why doesn't the Libertarian Party have like more of a presence?
Because they don't have. Dude,
people just don't know about it. Like, what the fuck?
They don't have a good enough figurehead to make a move. Even Gary Johnson, who was their best case scenario in 2016, like he was good, but he wasn't that good. They don't have, like I'd fucking vote for Ron Paul right now, but he ain't gonna run again. No. They just don't have that guy or the backing behind him. And you know why they don't? Is because everybody in this fucking world has been convinced, everybody in this nation has been convinced that it's a two-party system, and that if you don't vote for the right, then your vote's going to the left. Or if you don't vote for the left, your vote's going to the right. Everybody's been voter shamed into thinking that if you vote third party, it's a vote for the other side. And that's the fucking joke that we live in.
Well, you started hearing quite a bit that it was funny because all these socialists were going, oh, I don't see too many libertarians left over in a crisis like this. I don't see too many. Nobody's a libertarian in a crisis, they said.
It's because we're planting our gardens, motherfucker.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's libertarians never would have shut the economy down. So the government, these people.
No, the Libertarians would. Adam Kokesh. Adam Kokesh is the dude like running right now. Like,
yep.
The Libertarian. If there was a Libertarian president, wouldn't there be no federal government? Like Adam Kokesh basically said he was.
Well,
gonna,
that'd be an agorist. There'd be no federal government. Agorists would.
Well, it'd be like a skeleton crew of federal government, right? Yeah. I mean, so they wouldn't have the power to shut down the economy like this.
That's the thing with these socialists posting all their Bernie Sanders memes about how great socialism is. The government used their limitless authority to fuck the economy, and now they're saying you should give us more power so we can unfuck the economy. It makes no sense.
Problem, reaction, solution, dude. You create the problem that generates the reaction, and then you come in with your solution on a platter, the thing that you wanted. So they created this quote unquote this virus. They shut down the economy, which then collapsed the economy. So that's the problem. How do we get the economy back? Everybody's fucking panicking.
Well, the virus didn't collapse the economy.
The reaction to the virus. What I'm saying, the government reaction.
Yeah, the government collapsed the economy. So basically, it's just insane how some people think in regards to socialism of the government threw the economy into chaos. So now we should be, kneeling at the feet of the government to save us. It's like, it'd be like if you had a nice married Christian couple who lived next to you and you went over and started having an affair with the wife and banging out the wife.
Okay, I'm listening.
And you got her pregnant, and then you take her to the clinic to have an abortion and be like, I bet your views changed on abortion now, right? I bet you love it now.
Damn, that's a crazy analogy, dude. That's crazy.
It just I don't understand the way people think.
Well, and here's another point on that is why isn't anybody making a fuss with this stimulus package that, the first one was $2 trillion and only about $300 billion of it went to the U.S. Citizens, and the rest of it went to hedge fund managers.
Well, they said banks are getting $10 billion in fees just for managing the small business loan portion.
Right. So why isn't anybody realizing that the tiny fraction of this $2 trillion, if they would have sent $2 trillion to every U.S. citizen, it comes out to like $33,000 in stimulus. You would have gotten a $33,000 package, each person, with the $2 trillion.
Well, I'm fired up about. Jaxon, how old are you?
15.
15. So the
Put
next,
that beer down.
You rascals. That's not what's happening here.
The next phase of the stimulus payments to citizens, they have it in there to bump it up to $2,000 instead of $1,200, and 16-year-olds can get it.
Oh,
Meanwhile, me, who gets ass raped on taxes, I won't get a penny. I haven't gotten a penny yet. I'm not going to get a penny in the future. And I know you mentioned something about, I think you used $3,400 as a...
Yeah, that's a family of four.
Okay, so $3,400
is a family of four.
And then you'll have to pay $8,000.
Yeah, coming back. Yep.
So I've received $0, and I'm still going to have to pay...
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
What? 16-year-old? Why would they need $2,000? 16-year-olds. So they don't even.
That's what I'm
There's
wondering.
some 16-year-olds that don't even have a job, and they're gonna make more than. Yeah.
It didn't make any sense because their first one was like anybody over the age of 17. If you claim them and they're over the age of 17, they don't get it. And I thought that was weird originally with the first stimulus because I was like, dude, I was 8. Oh, no. There was a couple of people in our grade who were over 18 when they graduated. And it's like, so you're still in high school, so you got a dependent. So I thought that was kind of fuckery. But now I didn't hear what you're saying with the 16-year-olds.
Is that true? Is that passing? Is that
imagine
legit?
They're looking at it.
Okay.
Imagine
that's happening. I think you're right.
When they start giving $2,000 to a bunch of 16-year-old kids, just imagine like how dope.
Pornhub Premium.
No, I was gonna say.
Well, that's free right now. That's free right now during quarantine, dude.
I was gonna say how dope they're too.
No, they do. It's terrible. It's like a psyop. That's like a big psyop.
It is a psyop.
That's all.
That's deviancy.
Yeah. I was just gonna say a bunch of kids are gonna have some really dope 2K avatars rolling around.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of the Fortnite extra features are gonna be fucking lit as hell.
They're all gonna have the same like nice clothes, and they'll be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Oh,
you got it too, dude.
Shit's lame as hell.
Yeah, but
you got it too, man.
That's what's crazy too. Like, so isn't $2,000? Wasn't that the $2,000? $2,000 is just the next stimulus that they're pushing for.
So if you would be, say you were unemployed, family of 4, husband and wife unemployed, 2 kids, under 16. From my understanding, it would be $2,000 for the husband, $2,000 for the wife, along with $600 a week unemployment, as well as $500 a month per kid.
And dude, where the fuck is this money coming?
And then
money printer.
They're printing it, dude. That's what they're doing. These stimulus packages are butt fucking your family.
Ouch.
Your family. Our family. The generations.
Our kids.
Yes, that's what's happening. Is that our children?
Are we gonna have to pay this back? Like,
Yes, this isn't. like what we were talking about, the Federal Reserve, a dollar printed is a dollar of debt.
Yeah.
That's how the Federal Reserve works.
Yeah.
And every dollar that comes out, dude, it was Rashida Jones, fucking holler at you. Rashida Tlaib, she wanted to print $2 trillion coins to back these stimulus packages. 2 coins, 1 coin each, $2 trillion. The coin to back
That'd be
this.
pretty sweet for the collection.
Yeah.
That money, yeah, coins for the coffers. That shit doesn't come out of nowhere. So our generations will be paying for this. And going back to what we were saying with these low, and I'm just gonna call them every death is a tragedy. Even though who was it, Mao Zedong, or was it Joseph Stalin that said like 1 death is a tragedy, 1 million deaths is a statistic. That's why they're trying to bump up their numbers. Every death is a tragedy, but this low death count that we're in right now, and I'm gonna call it a low death count, is not worth the ramifications that when I look at my son or my daughter and I know that they're going to be feeling the impact from this, it is not fucking worth it. No. If you look at Sweden said, hey, we're smart. Old people or people with immunodeficiencies, stay the fuck home. The rest of the people, go about your business. And guess what? They're at about 95% immunity now. And they never shut down their economy. Think about that.
Yeah, it's the thing that pisses me off too with the stimulus checks, which I mean, I'm still working. So it's business as usual with me, so I'm not really in a position where I need the money, but at the same time, I kind of got caught with my pants down with us building a house and having to sell a house.
Oof, yeah.
So
yeah.
Dude, the trickle down in like so many situations is just fucked.
Well, that's the whole thing is the government flipped everything on its head, and they look at me and they go, "Oh, you did pretty good in 2018, so fuck you and your kid."
Yeah, dude.
It's like, well, what does that have to do with? Because they should just say, we've literally shut down the country, which affects everybody in one way or another. So if we're going to hand out money, we'll just give it to everyone.
Right.
But they look at me and they're like, oh, yeah, nice job in 2018. Go fuck yourself. You don't get shit. But you're going to have to pay it back.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's
funny.
the thing.
Funny too that they look at stop me if I'm speaking out of school here, but like what all they're doing, and this is also total bullshit. In your case, they're looking at your like gross income. They're not looking at hours put in. How much fucking overtime did you put in 2008? You know what I mean? Like they're not looking at that.
the 2019 was 2,500 hours overtime. So
That's bonkers, bro.
I'm literally living at work, but like you said, they don't take any of that into account.
Yeah, that's dude. You literally paid into them more. You know, with 2,500 hours of OT, you're like a VIP customer.
Yeah, for the government.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you should be getting extra to be like thanks for the extra money you gave. Like that.
That's my issue with taxes in general, and I guess I kind of got to be careful how I understand how taxes work and what they're used for, but when you have when they tax the shit out of you and you literally get zero benefit from it, that's when I have a hard time.
Because you jump tax brackets, so then it's like
That
shouldn't
too.
have just worked. I mean, you would have made the same amount of money.
Yeah,
In the end of it, yeah.
but it goes back to, so like my son when he was younger, he was in a couple programs to kind of help him advance along and stuff, and it was through the city or the county. So we started getting a bill for this, and my wife was asking around. She's like, to the other mom, she's like, did you get a bill for this? And no, nobody else got a bill for it. But because of my income, Everybody else gets to use it for free. I'm paying a shitload more taxes than everybody else is, but yet I have to pay on top of it now to use the same program. So my tax dollars don't even get me the benefit of using that program.
Yeah, the problem is that it's such a rigid line. That it's not like, okay, so you paid this much in, we'll give you this much back. Like you'll get this many benefits, or like you'll get this much. Like your kids will, don't worry about school or any shit. Like you're good to go because you paid this much. It's just a rigid line. If you cross that line, now you got to pay extra. Damn, shame on you for making more money. Now you got to pay more. But yeah, what you're saying, like taxes, it makes sense. Like you're an older couple, your kids are out of school. You don't have, but you still pay taxes for the local schools because you know what? Other people paid taxes while your kids were going to school. Like that's how taxes work. But in theory, it's great, but in practice, it's shit because it is so skewed based on. It's not based on incomes necessarily. It like a lot of the taxes are rigid lines, and where I think it fails is when you look at a company, General Electric, $1 billion company, paid $0 in taxes last year. If you bring those taxes due, we're good to go. But they let these fucking these Apple, all these businesses, Ireland,
Amazon,
the GDP of Ireland should be 17 trillion gazillion dollars right now because of all these companies that claim they're based in Ireland. Man, they don't have to pay any taxes.
Well, Ireland charges 12%. So I don't understand why we can't just say, you know, I don't know offhand what our corporate tax structure is, but it's in the 30%, 39%. And then you add in all the loopholes and they end up not paying anything. But the flat tax system, listen, my whole thing is if you want to vote, you should have some skin in the game because there's way too many people voting on that are adding nothing to the system, but telling everybody else what, I make, $15,000 a year working part-time, but you should tax the shit out of all these people to pay for my huge college bill. It's like, listen, if you want...
Well, dude, that was... aren't
Noam
those
Chomsky
two things?
Talked about that a lot,
dude. Like UBI, and I've listened to people talk about UBI. And like some people can make a really good case for it and stuff, like how it would actually make sense. But this whole like the student loan forgiveness shit, you're right, dude. That was just like a pathetic attempt at just getting. You're basically like marketing to voter aged people that haven't actually gone to work yet. That don't know what the real world's fucking like, but they had no problem taking out all these fucking loans. But now that they got to pay them back, they're pissed off. Like,
well, the problem too is these politicians are allowed to buy votes with taxpayer money. They're looking to pander to these college-age kids that are coming out of college with huge debt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you promise them student debt relief, of course they're going to vote for you.
Right.
That's $120,000 in some or more sometimes.
You're buying. You're basically buying votes with money owed.
You're buying votes with taxpayer money.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like I don't understand how that's
a bailout. Like you're bailing out.
It is.
Yeah,
but
it really
there's this fucked up mentality about the government, as if the government's providing anything. The government's never provided a fucking cent for anybody or anything.
That's the thing. The government does not make money. The government doesn't have money to give.
Correct.
So like all of this, all this stimulus and everything, it's like, is anybody like stopping and asking the question of like,
no, it all started with,
from?
You know what? There was one U.S. citizen that bailed out the government, J.P. Morgan, and he did it in 1911. And then he said, you know what? The fuck if I'm going to do that again. And in 1913, him and his friends created the Federal Reserve. And they said, you know what? If we got to do this again, we're going to do it so that we get our money back and then some. And that's how the Federal Reserve was created, because J.P. Morgan did literally out of his pocket fucking bail out the U.S. government one time, and he said, "I'll never do that again."
Then he sank the motherfucking Titanic and
yeah.
wrote his own rules.
Yeah, that's
I just seen something interesting the other day about FDR in I think it was 1933, 1934. It had something to do with the New Deal coming out of the Great Depression. He called in all the U.S. Marshals, law enforcement, and he mandated and he made it illegal for U.S. citizens to own gold.
yeah. That was called like the Great Gold. They
I call it confiscation.
yeah, I think that's what they call it.
I thought
They
that
call
was
it the Great.
silver.
No, it was
No, it was
gold.
gold.
It was
Okay.
gold. They call it like the Great Gold Grab. It was like the gold grab.
You had
and they
to
brought
sell.
it back.
You had to sell your gold to the government basically at gunpoint.
Yep.
Because if you didn't and you got caught with anything gold, you could face up to 10 years in prison. So,
And they'd take your gold.
well, they
Yeah,
So-
you get to 10 years and you wouldn't have the gold.
Here's the thing: is so technically they bought it from everybody. You had to sell it to the government for 20. I think it was the spot price was $20 an ounce. As soon as FDR got everybody's gold, he goes, "Gold's worth $40 an ounce now. Look at all the money we got."
Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude.
Magic. That's fucking magic, man.
Dude, so when we're sitting here and like we keep talking about like, does anybody and do these people and who the fuck? It's like you were kind of getting to this earlier, like that there's like the online conversation and then there's like the physical realm conversation, right? Because all these people that are actually going to or protest, like there's a big protest in Madison. Today's April 24th. Georgia just opened everything today.
This
There
is our
was a
supposed to
couple
be open day.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Wisconsin reopening today. I know there's a couple individual cities in Wisconsin that have opened, like Hartford just opened.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, dude, they're just going for it, I guess.
Let's party.
Like the sheriff said, they're not going to enforce anybody.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know if that starts today. Didn't like Racine or Kenosha?
I think Racine County, the Racine Sheriff and Polk County Sheriff. There's a map going around
Oh, nice.
of. So instead of the map of coronavirus, it's a map of which sheriffs are on board with telling Evers to fuck off.
Yeah, the ones
Okay,
that wrote those big letters, like the sense
So-
of the Evers. It has,
So,
like,
dude, it's just like I don't know. I'm not going to the protest. I'm not going to the rally. But like there was a big rally in Madison. There's a big one in Brookfield last week. Like there is people like getting out there in the streets that are protesting this and fighting for their rights. And then, but online, because it's obviously it's the opposite point of view that seems to be more outspoken online, demonizing all these people. And like I'm just so confused. Like, what's the right thing to do? What's going on? Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do here? But
Well, there's two different.
it's this class war going on, or whatever you want to call it. Like,
There's two different camps because you got in one camp you have the people that are at home or want to stay at home because they're collecting the checks. So naturally, they're going to say we need to keep everything shut down longer.
yeah.
that
So
can
are
keep getting
they
the money.
are they scared shitless?
That's the other thing.
Plus,
they're getting the checks.
they're getting a sweet deal.
Plus, they're afraid. And then you got the other camp saying, "Look, this is turning our lives upside down. It's completely fucking us and everything that we've worked for our entire life. Sorry if our opinion is that we don't want to lose everything we have."
Dude,
That's
so
what I touched on the last episode.
I was just gonna
saying
say-
all the people that are saying stay the fuck home are the people that are working from home and their lives aren't getting touched.
Or
Yeah.
they're getting a check
Exactly.
from
From
Daddy
exactly. The
government.
people who are like opening the fuck up are saying I need to feed my goddamn kids. Let's go with this so I can have a job and work.
Well, I don't know if we did talk about this last episode.
yes, we
And I don't
did,
know
yeah.
if I articulated it like this clear, but it seems as if there's all this outrage at the people that are showing up to these protests that like these people are all just laid off from working for some big ass company, which I don't think is the case at all. I think what you have is a lot of independent business owners that put everything they fucking have into their business, and they are at the risk for losing it because this fucking reopening date is a carrot on a stick, and they can't give us. So people don't know what to plan for.
Right. We said that, and this is exactly what we said on the last episode.
I love repeating myself.
No, this is You actually said. I think you said on the ride over here that you weren't going to talk at all because you're sick of repeating yourself.
I did say that.
No. This is a great. This has to be repeated. This has to be repeated because what we talked about was that not only was that like. That was small business owners and people that are struggling. But what they do is they plant people into these things. So you see a lady, and the news does a fantastic job of calling these out. You see one fucking person holding beside it that says, "I need a haircut."
Oh my God.
And that's what the media focuses on.
And I shined a light on that person last episode.
Yes, exactly.
But they
take the fucking thunder out of your protest because they're saying, "Oh, look at these ass hats."
Same with the dickhead that shows up with like a fucking swastika or a rebel flag.
You could take a picture of anything and it would tell a completely different story.
Absolutely.
So my question also is like, why aren't these people getting their asses beat? And again, I'm not going to the protest. I'm not going to the rally because I'm not going to align. I know that's what's going to happen. Like, because you can't.
What would happen to a guy if he was carrying that flag at a hardcore show?
They would get stomped in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
There would be no question about it. And that's, I probably brought this up before too, but like I always thought this about like the Charlottesville thing with all those fucking dorks with their tiki torches. Yeah. Like how the fuck, the media, this is the biggest thing ever. And like, oh my God, this KKK rally, blah, blah, blah. How did like not all like the hardcore kids and like punk rockers come out just like that's basically a hall pass on fucking people up,
right?
And nobody's gonna care.
You know why?
And they're all pussies.
You know why? You know why it doesn't happen is because Nazis don't show up at protests and carry flags. Nazis wear suits and they're in boardrooms and they're in NASA and they're in fucking the CDC and they're in the WHO. Nazis don't show up at these protests,
dude. And that was. To me, it's just like you see that, and you see the news story, and it's this big outrageous thing. But to me, just same with like the fucking your rebel flags or your swastikas. It's like, is anybody scared of these fucking morons anymore? Like they're not scary. They're fucking losers, and they should just get their asses kicked. And to say they're a minority is like the biggest understatement ever. Like that way of thinking is, I think we can all agree, just disgusting and just like nobody's.
Yeah, it's just there to.
Do you know anybody who's like fucking rocking a swastika? Just like, yeah, man,
dude, it's just there. It's just there to take away from an actual
protest. The media focuses their lens on it, and they get all the attention, and then they turn it into something that it's not. And that's exactly what's happening with "I need a haircut," fucking lady. Yeah, that's right. She's a Nazi. And the fucking dudes with their
like, I need a haircut high and tight.
Like, she's out there in front of the barbershop.
Yeah, dude. Someone should have just told her, would you get someone should have, dude, fucking cut her fucking messy bun off, ripped her sign in half, and told her to fucking hit the bricks. Right. Like, that's not what we're doing here. Like, you're making a mockery of this, you fucking idiot.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of people doing these protests who don't actually know what they're protesting. A lot of people just show up to be like, oh, I'm going to do this and this. And a lot of people aren't informed on what they're actually what they're doing, So, yeah, when that lady was in that mob or that guy with that Nazi flag in Michigan, if everybody, even if a handful of people would have known what the fuck they're doing around them, they would have waffle stomped them.
Yes. Amen. All these dudes are showing up with the fucking tactical vests and guns. Why wouldn't you just stick a piece in this dude's ribs and be like, beat it, dude? What the fuck are you doing?
Skull.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they would leave. But nope, the media gets the fucking photo first before that happens.
Oh, yeah. I bet they got that photo and they bounced. I bet they did. You know what? Here's a thought. Maybe those people didn't even get a chance to beat the shit out of them because they showed up. They might not. They just showed up, got the photo, bounced. Maybe they didn't even get a chance.
Again, shout outs to Patty Black and Regress No Way 76. Both sent me that Twitter view, like that lady was doing the FaceTime Live or Facebook Live or whatever, and got that dude in the scrubs, the protester in
Yeah.
scrubs, like standing in front of a car
the
that
thing.
was at a fucking stoplight.
Yeah.
Take the picture, and they skedaddle.
Is
like,
that what it was? I didn't see that. I didn't see that video. So
Yeah.
they were just at a stoplight?
This was another one. This wasn't the first photo.
the
Someone was
original
doing
one.
it again.
Did everybody notice how like good looking and like built that original
Oh,
doctor was?
He was beautiful.
Like, come on, get the fuck out of here. That was a crisis actor, right? I mean,
Who knows?
who
Who knows anymore? Like, dude, we are being manipulated. We're being played. Like, I think both ways. It's just, dude, this is like 5D fucking chess. And if you say the wrong thing, you're automatically an asshole. Like, it's just so weird, which is why, I guess, like, why aren't people pissed off? Like, everybody should be pissed off. There's nothing wrong with being pissed off right now because we're being lied to.
yes, exactly. That comes back to why do I get messages from some people that are hateful? Like, I am not saying that anybody is doing anything wrong. I'm saying that the government does not have your best interests at heart.
Dude, exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
I am
Jackson,
literally
ready? Here I go. I'm doing it.
Okay,
I'm
do it.
repeating
All right,
myself.
do
You
it.
knew it was coming.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Dude,
I'm gonna shut my mic off right
no,
now.
to your point, exactly what you're saying. I feel like I can talk as much shit as I want because, again, I'm a guy that has a business that has been shut down, but I also have another job that I've been working for 15 fucking years where I'm considered essential, that is taking no initiative on keeping their employees safe at all. So if I'm essential in one hand and not in the other, there's some fuckery going on here. Well, I'm pissed off, and I don't
As
know
you should
everybody's
be.
situation.
As you should be, man.
So that's the thing. And I'm not saying this virus is bullshit. I'm not saying that we should all absolutely be going back to work. I'm not saying either way. I don't know because I'm being told two different things. On one hand, I'm saying I can't operate my business because it's not safe, and it's so dangerous that operating my business would be putting myself and others at risk. But at the same time, I'm being told that I have to go to work somewhere else where they've done nothing different. The hypocrisy is right there.
Oh, it's palpable.
And this is the company I work for is being like, it's a hoorah for UPS, like we're saving the world, doing the Lord's work, getting us through this pandemic. I can work for them,
You're not
but I
getting
can't
paid
operate my
more?
own fucking business. I'm not getting hazard pay. Zach, we should probably get on some fucking...
Yeah, this is where you need to get it. I think this is where you need to transition into
why the
union.
fuck-
You need
dude.
to transition. Go to unions right now.
Why are essential employees not being paid hazard pay right
Why
now?
aren't unions doing anything about it?
Why aren't unions lobbying one way or the other? Either, no, this is a crisis, and they should be... Okay, there's three things
Exactly,
here.
hazard pay,
Either
crisis.
I shouldn't be working at all, or I should be working in a fucking biohazard suit, hazmat suit, beekeeper's outfit, whatever the full fucking hockey gear, whatever you want to call it. Or I should be, and at the same time, getting some sort of hazard pay compensation instead of just, they're rolling out all these campaigns thanking essential employees and all this shit. Heroes on the front lines and all this kind of stuff. And
Doesn't
yes,
help you out. Yeah.
thank you, healthcare workers. Thank you, firefighters, EMS, police, people that don't have, also grocery store workers, gas station workers, like everybody who doesn't have a choice. These people, like a lot of these people working the drive-through and shit. Like Grace said this. It's like they're not like, okay, sure, they're heroes, I guess, but they don't have a fucking choice. They have a job where they're still able to work, and they should be feeling the same way I am. Like
That's what
why am I able to work? Why is somebody able to work a fucking drive-through or behind the counter at a gas station with no fucking PPE or whatever? I guess it's probably on their dime if they want to wear it. But if this is as dangerous as they say it is, nobody should be working at all. But that's the thing, is you don't get this fucking virus, start bleeding out your ass and die. Like,
But the run on TP would have suggested that.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, what's going on here? Like, I'm just having to go to work every day, continue business as usual, but at the same time, my private business that's just me and one other person is non-essential and has to shut down for safety purposes. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So that's all I'm saying is we need some consistency here because this is bullshit.
Yeah, but when the government's running it, it's not going to make sense.
I was just going to say, did you just ask for consistency out of the government?
That's the whole thing that pisses me off is the quote-unquote essential employees haven't got shit. You know what I mean?
No.
There hasn't been... So before any of this shutdown or anything, there was a talk of payroll tax holiday. So anybody that works wouldn't have to pay federal taxes until that would be their stimulus. But there hasn't been hazard pay. There hasn't been fucking break on taxes.
So give us
Nothing.
an example of what you were talking about before we started here. Give us the example of the hazard pay that is going on in the industry that you work in. What you said.
Yeah, so I'm technically considered a first responder. I'm for the power company, electric company. When a call comes in, whether it's a hospital out of power, whether it's a home on fire and the fire department's there, they want the power shut off so they can start blasting water on everything. I'm the guy that they call. I'm the first guy. I'm a first responder. Well, the company I work for, they rearranged everything. And the other day I got part of a group text with everybody else. There's an agreement that was voted on that nobody knew about that paid hazard pay and extra pay to every other department except for the first responder department. And they go, oh, well, it's a done deal. It was already voted on. Everybody's going, well, was anybody going to tell us, or you just discuss this amongst the union and then...
Zach, you are getting screwed in so many ways. You're basically airtight at this point. I mean, all at once.
Definitely airtight.
We couldn't be.
I'm airtight with shit sandwiches and...
Dude, I couldn't be sitting across the table from two of the most fucked dudes by this whole thing.
Okay,
like
again,
you guys literally should start like a fucking rap duo.
Let me tell you.
I started a podcast so I could cry about it every week. But that's the thing. I ain't fucking crying about it. I'm just saying, like, this is a clear...
You're being active.
These are two clear examples of just pure fuckery and bullshit and why everybody should be pissed off because,
But guess what we're not? Guess what we're not saying you're fucked by COVID? Health reasons.
Right.
That's what we need to focus on is... None of us in here are talking about how we were on respirators or ventilators.
At this point, I'd be money ahead if I got fucking COVID.
You absolutely would be.
Because I'd be laid off and I'd be getting the government cheese.
Yeah,
not a care in the world.
Dude.
Have you considered it?
Well, I'm thinking
Have you
about
considered
it.
going down to Milwaukee
Licking some
and
doorknobs?
figuring some stuff out? Yeah. Dude. Man, you guys, I just put that together. You guys are the fucking poster childs.
Let me tell you.
For how fucked this economy is, but not the health. You guys are two very healthy individuals, and you're not being affected by this health-wise, which is the reason why they shut this down. But the shutdown for the health-wise has butt-fucked you guys economically.
Dude, there is not a single person that I work with that's gloving up, masking up. It's not...
Same.
It should be... And to me, like I said, like that should be mandatory. There's something.
If it's
like,
as bad as it says.
Right. The company should be looking out for us. The government should be mandating it.
Well,
these essential employees.
Like, how is anyone supposed to take it seriously?
Dude, I read a fucking article that UPS donated 10,000 masks to whatever the fuck, but they don't provide them for their employees. And the ones that they do provide are like the fucking dust masks that aren't doing shit.
The dust mask. The fucking dust mask. I fucking can't stand that.
Dude, so were you supposed to just like wad up some toilet paper, throw it in each nostril?
Well, didn't you see that senator the other day who put his wife's pantyhose over his mouth? For real deal. That's not an Onion article. He couldn't find a mask. I think
over his mouth or in his mouth?
I think it was a little bit of both.
Was she still wearing them at the time?
Like Vince Vaughn in The Wedding
Answer the
Crashers.
question.
If there weren't certain people that listen to this, I would have had a response to that. That would have been. Turns out they were around his ears.
Dustin.
But anyways, so basically, people are just putting pieces of cloth over their fucking face, but I don't know where we're going with that.
I don't know, man. This is what happens. I just start screaming about the same shit all the time. You're like, all right, I guess that'll do it.
You are the Sam Tripoli of this pod.
Dude. So what?
It's fantastic. I love it. I love it, dude. So we've got this fucking guy from the WHO. His name is
The fake ass Neil deGrasse Tyson.
give me one.
Wannabe.
Give me 1 second. Here we go. Yeah,
That's what he looks
yeah,
like.
dude, exactly. Tedros.
Whoa! What the fuck, dude?
Adhanom. Yeah. This guy fucking quieted like 2 Ebola outbreaks in Africa. Like this guy that's leading the WHO right now. This guy is very good friends with Xi Jinping, the leader of the CCP.
Yeah.
The Communist Party of China. Like, and there was a great, watch. There was a video that we had posted, I had sent to you guys, but, somebody called this very subtle mannerism. But, so Xi is standing there with his hand out, and this WHO guy is, basically, reaching for his hand, trying to shake his hand. It's basically Xi's come here, motherfucker. Shake my hand, you bitch. And this WHO guy is, reaching for his hand. Okay, so the WHO is obviously run by China. China owns them motherfuckers. And I've been hearing a lot of talk, Whitney Webb. Look her up at Whitney Webb on Twitter. She writes for the Last American Vagabond. Her shit's really good. If you listen to her, she's hard to listen to because she's very monotone. But she's
Full of info, though.
dude, mad info. What she is saying is basically what this is. The point of this is to get rid of what they call legacy systems in the U.S. the U.S. is scared that China has leapfrogged us in the infotech world, and that they will be the world leader in anything technology based. And the reason for that is because China has so many people that they're able to say, well, we don't have enough doctors, so we're not going to send people to the doctor's office. You're going to do that virtually. We don't have enough. There's not enough space for vehicles, so nobody can have vehicles. So we're not going to worry about that. So basically, legacy systems are doing your own shopping, owning a vehicle, going to the doctor, all things that they even they consider a legacy system. FDA warnings on things. So China releases shit that they don't have the FDA handcuffing them. So they'll just release vaccines and stuff like that without going through the due process of making sure that they work properly. So what this is doing is accelerating our move into eliminating human contact. So basically what we're doing is all of your doctor's visits will be virtual. Mm-hmm. All of your grocery shopping, which is they call legacy system, will be, you'll just put your shit in online. And what that does is that forces, so Silicon Valley can then accelerate how fast they get this shit out there. So they'll get all these government grants, all this money, all this manpower to be able to accelerate that, and so that we can catch up and try and maintain the technology power over China.
So do you think this is basically preparation? They're preparing people, and they're like, "Oh, this isn't so bad." They're making people so comfortable.
Exactly.
Yep.
This isn't going away. Mm-hmm. This isn't this Zoom conferencing, this ordering shit online, staying at home, not having to go anywhere is just accelerating, not having taking away the human infrastructure part of it and making it all technology based.
Dude,
So
how about
what do you
this?
think?
Go ahead.
How do you think it's going to be like after all this settles down? Like,
it's going to be what we're looking at right now is what they want.
Okay, all right.
I think
This is what they
it's
want.
not going to settle. The dust has settled. What we're doing right now is what they want. And if we don't try and get our shit back, if we just settle in and say all this stuff is, oh, this is good to go. Like, wow, like we were saying on the last episode, like how many offices are going to be empty because everybody says like, oh, Zoom conferencing is easy, good to go. We eliminate human interaction. Like, if we don't fight back for what we want, this is going to be status quo, what we're looking at right now. And the problem is that they've made it so fucking easy, and they're going to make it even easier.
People are too
to fall in
comfortable
line.
right now. Yeah.
It's so easy right now to fall in line.
Check this shit out, dude.
Go.
Predictive programming. People are already getting
Jared
used
Kushner.
Dude, people are already getting used to like the Zoom shit. There's a lot of people that work office jobs, cubicles and stuff that are interacting. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah. That are operating like mostly on a digital interface through email or video chat or whatever. Anyways, maybe a lot of these people that work these office jobs, their video conferences, it's actually like more FaceTime with people where it would usually be maybe through email or whatever. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But, dude, we have...
You don't email with @DukerBus on your day-to-day workplace? You don't get no FaceTime?
Okay, @DukerBus, I doubt he's even listening because that dude doesn't give a shit about anything I'm doing. I invite him every time, saying we're hanging out.
Do you really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have to show up once.
Maybe I don't invite him every time.
That's 14.
But that guy, dude, and actually, I've kind of taken a page out of his book. I'll send this dude a text on a Monday. I won't hear from him until Saturday, but he'll respond just like to the, and it might even be a time sensitive thing. Like, what are you doing tonight, man? You want to hang out? I'm like, Saturday. Oh man, sorry, I can't make it.
What the fuck you doing?
That was a week
Saturday during quarantine.
That was a week ago. Yeah. No, this is like, dude.
No.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, dude, so you got Zoom. Zoom is like Zoom, and we had Zoom shoved in our fucking face with the NFL draft. People are just getting used to this. This is how we're settling in. No, this is totally normal. Dude, the movie's Surrogates with Bruce Willis, which was, do you know what I'm talking about? Surrogates, it's like
I've only seen
in your
Die
home. Okay. Yeah. He's not a very popular actor.
Oh, also the whole 9 yards.
Okay, yeah, again.
2 of the best Bruce Willis movies ever.
God damn it. Okay.
Did I put you off track? Sorry, man.
I'm going to start this over. Predictive programming. Okay, the movie Surrogates. It was like a Matrix type thing where you would enter. Surrogates is like you basically had like a real life avatar that would go out into the world. So people could be. So you basically have like an animatronic, like AI avatar that would go out into
like
the
Ready
world.
Player One kind of thing.
But that was the other movie I was going to say. Like, so Ready Player One, that is almost the kind of society that we're moving towards here.
100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%.
And that is not fucking far-fetched, dude. It's not.
No, it's not.
And if they can keep us comfortable in our homes, that's going to be it's going to be safer. You can go out and do whatever you want.
You forgot to mention Idiocracy, where everybody's eating cheese sauce and watching ridiculous video games.
It's almost
Mountain Dew comes out of your kitchen sink.
Dude, it's almost like if you mention Idiocracy now and somebody hasn't like heard that, it's like you're like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, we're not living in Idiocracy. So to go on to your point.
I don't even know why I brought up Surrogates. Fuck that movie, dude. Ready Player One is more current, and it was a badass movie. And
the two movies that you need that go hand in hand is Ready Player One and Minority Report. Okay, so first of all, with Ready Player One, what they're doing right now is they're getting rid of human interaction. Mm-hmm. What's that going to do? That's going to lower, so you're not going to go out to the bar. Right now, if I was 22 and they told me I couldn't go out to the bar, dude, I'd be having a fit right now. But what I wouldn't be doing is going out and possibly meeting somebody else, starting a family, like building relationships, starting a family. So right then and there, that is sterilizing people That is
are they-
non-invasive. That's non-invasive sterilization, right there.
Are they
Go ahead.
trying to make? Are they trying to? I know they're trying to depopulize, but how? If there's no more people being created, then what's the point of
Land of
the
dude,
elite
a lot of-
levels.
thing?
Dude, the Georgia Guidestones, man, they only want a population of 500 million because they want the land, man.
Yeah.
You know what's like
Exactly.
like like what Ted Turner owns like 5 billion acres of Montana, Wyoming land. Like that's
Oh,
what they
yeah,
want.
yeah.
They all of those people just want sprawling like, and you try to make sense of it, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
They want like a continent to each of them. And it doesn't make any sense because you're never even going to see all of it or do anything with it. They just want to have it. So the other point I was going to make with that, with the predictive programming and Minority Report, is originally Ivanka Trump was backing, I believe it was with DARPA. No, HARPA was the health-related, trying to figure out people that would be susceptible to health-related illnesses. And now what they're doing is they're gonna package this whole thing with Jared Kushner and use this to figure out. Also with the nano chips that they're gonna try to implant in everybody, they're gonna figure out what people are watching, how they're reacting, and they're gonna just know. It's going to be precognitive crimes. So they're basically going to arrest you for a crime you haven't committed yet. And that's technology they've been working on. I think I got it backwards. Originally, it was going to be for crimes. Yeah, originally it was going to be for crimes. Now they're going to package it into a health thing. So that's how they did it. And I think Dick Cheney was involved in the original one. And now Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. So sorry, I got that fucked up. So Dick Cheney was originally doing the precognitive crimes thing, and now Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner are doing this HARPA thing where they're saying it's for health reasons, but it's actually going to basically be for like precognitive crime type shit. And that nanochip implementation thing, like, so that will be able to tell if you if you watch an advertisement, and then it will be tied into cryptocurrency, and it will then give you money based on if you watch this advertisement or not. And it will be able to tell based on your blood pressure, on your heat, on your brain waves. And they want to get rid of the tangible dollar.
It's basically go ahead, Jax.
Oh no, going back to like kind of earlier, but this is a book, Education in a Scientific Society, and its contentment will be considered the most important. In order to produce it, all the researches of psychoanalysis, behaviorism, and biochemistry will be brought into play. Yeah. So basically, it's just they have so much data that they have control of your emotions. Yeah, your emotional state.
Exactly. They have so much data right now on everything you see, and they will now, with the vaccine that will come out of this shit that they'll try to push on us, they will now have your heart rate and your thermal readings based off of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, ultimately, and I'll go into the vaccine thing more, but ultimately what I was going to say is what I hope people take away from however they come out of this situation, whether or not they do or don't get coronavirus, whether or not they come out and still have a job or don't have a job. With the whole economy, everybody is owned by debt. And everything from individuals to business across the board, which has become so evident with what's going on now, is you're so easily... They're easily able to control you, because if you don't own anything, if you don't own your home, if you're soaked in debt, you don't know where you're going to get food, you don't have emergency preparedness set aside. So I know myself, I'm shooting for zero debt after this.
Yeah, same.
And
But then you still have property taxes.
Well, you still have property taxes, but going into the vaccine thing.
One thing I'm going to synopsize what you just said. Basically, what they did, we have a system of debt slaves. We are debt slaves. We don't work to make money. We work to pay off debt. That's debt slavery. They're building a technocracy based off of debt slaves to make it easier for them to then take our money away. So I want to clarify that the cryptocurrency going to a digital currency, which they tried to slip into that first stimulus bill. That thank God that federal cryptocurrency got denied the first time, and they're trying. They keep trying to get that pushed through. If the Federal Reserve gets their digital currency pushed through, they will be able to take away our fucking money at a moment's notice.
Well, that's why I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Look at the businesses that have been shut down. A lot of cash businesses, weren't they burning piles of cash in China?
Yeah, they're burning money.
So you took away a lot of the industries that deal with a lot of cash.
Yep.
And is that coincidental? I don't.
Absolutely not.
Fuck no, dude.
No, they're saying it's tainted. Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Well, dude. Also, like, they were saying that. They were saying that.
Yeah, they say they burn the money because they're saying the money is
in China. I mean, here is like.
Oh no! All you got dollar bills got a little cocaine on it. No big whoop, man. Come on, man.
That's true.
I lick every dollar bill I get, man.
Take a little toot of that $1 bill.
Shove every dollar bill in my ass. I'm sorry for distracting you again.
No, I don't know. That was just kind of a tangent, but you know what I mean? It's like a lot of cash businesses are the ones that are just like out of money.
You're right.
Waitresses, bartenders, hairstylists, like, you know, a lot salon type things that like deal with a lot of cash, you know, a lot of tips, all that. That industry has just like gone away all of a sudden. Was that coincidental with trying to get the fucking cryptocurrency shit in place? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's a stretch.
Once cash goes away, we're fucked. I mean,
if we go to a digital currency,
if we go to a digital currency that is pushed on us by the government, we're totally fucked.
Oh,
like, just think about it in, like, take your 401k, for example. That's not tangible.
No, absolutely not.
That could be completely, you're showing dissent towards the government.
Yes.
So your 401k that you had, that's gone.
Exactly, man.
Delete.
Exactly.
But the other thing is that I was going to mention is, which my wife is afraid of, and I am too, is say you work yourself into a position where you have no debt, right? You own everything. Okay, so you still got to pay property taxes, but in the grand scheme of things, that's minor. If you own your home, own your vehicles,
right.
You got cash, stashed away in the mattress. Now, and I made sure to ask her before I came on here, the whole vaccine thing. There's no rule, there's no law in this country that says the government has the right to vaccinate you, mandate that you be vaccinated. But there's all kinds of workarounds. One is you can't send your kid to school.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they're vaccinated. Mm-hmm. And two, adults don't go to school, so how are we going to fuck the adults and have control over them? The real ID.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to say, like with my job, I thought I heard that if you just have a regular driver's license, you have the option of opting out of the real ID.
Yeah, because that's only for like air travel, right? Right now, the main thing is,
now it's only for air travel, so you could opt out of the real ID. But if you wanted to fly to Atlanta, you'd have to have your passport for domestic travel.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a CDL. I'm not able to opt out of the real ID.
Oh, shit.
I have to have it. So when this coronavirus vaccine comes out, and it's like I Am Legend, and the fucking vaccine turns everybody into his I don't think it'll be too far down the road before if I say no, I don't want the corona vaccine, that they'll say, well, we're not going to renew your license.
Oh,
if my license doesn't get renewed, I can't work. And now I'm fucked.
Right. And they could do that with, you have to get a license to do hair. You have to have a license to be a bartender. You have to have a license to do tattoos. Nobody gives a shit about tattoo artists, by the way. Well, why would you? You have to have a fucking license for all this shit. The only reason I say that is just because like when I talk about like this date being a fucking carrot on the stick, it's like the slow rollout of how they're gonna get things back to normal just seems completely impossible. I'm
only going to call us out one more. I'm only going to call us out one more time. But if you tell everybody day one that we're not going to open up for 3, possibly 4 months, you're going to get some dissent. But if you tell everybody we're going to open up in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, but you keep moving the needle every week, then they can't bitch. But if you tell everybody the real date, I used that fucking shitty contractor analogy before. Shitty contractor tells you the job's going fucked and it's over budget. He's probably going to get fired. But if he keeps kind of stringing you along, he's going to have the job. He's going to get the job done, and he's probably going to get overpaid for it. That's why they didn't tell us. They knew exactly what his fucking date was. And they're moving that goddamn needle to 18 months. They're slowly moving that needle. Like
they've kept dropping. They're putting that in people's minds, dude. They've said it from day fucking one. 12 to 18 months. 12 to 18 months. 12 to 18 months. To Event 201, 18 months, dude.
So I kind of brought this up last episode. They're knocking at your door. It's vaccine. They got the needles out. They're pushing the fucking air bubbles out of the needle. What fucking happens, man?
Yeah, what do you do?
What do you do?
I
was just thinking about that today.
There is no workaround. I mean, your hands are tied, dude.
So
you have a family. You have a family. I have a family.
You got people in this country that are like, oh fuck, try knocking on my door and you'll get fucking pumped full of lead.
That's all. Yeah, that's
all right.
all
when your house turns into fucking Waco, Texas.
Yeah. Which, go shout out to a new Netflix series, Waco. It's actually pretty fucking good. It's really